Well, guys, the title today is Maintaining Your Faith and Finances in College. And so we're blessed to have Andrew and Richard here from Wolfgang Financial Club, and I know they'll talk more about their club and what they do. So if you guys want to start.
All right, thank you. Well, first of all, I'm Richard Mordecai, and that's Andrew McDonald, and we're from Wolfgang Financial Club. And what we do is we pretty much promote and improve the financial condition of our members and the community. So right now we're doing a community presentation. Hopefully we can be impactful and help with college finances. So we're here today to talk about finances in college, student loan debt, and scholarships. But let's pose a question. Let's start with a question. Why are you guys going to college? What's the purpose? It's not rhetorical, we can answer. What's that?
It's necessary for our careers.
Or your career. So you're going to college so you can improve the career you have in the future. Mm-hmm. All right, so why do we want to improve the career we have in the future? There's no wrong answer.
To make more money.
To make more money. That's what I like to hear. And for that great answer, you get a reward, $5. So we want to make more money. That's why we go to college, because essentially we really want to make more money. We want to get into a career we like, and follow that career path, put some passion into it, and make more money. So why do we want to make more money in the future?
Live comfortably.
Live comfortably. Any details of how do you live comfortably?
Nice house.
Any type of things? Go ahead.
Nice house.
A nice house. You want a nice house? Yes, yes.
You know, to do simple things, just being able to make ends meet, pay for bills and food.
Pay for bills and food. Anything else? Anything else? There's something else. There must be something else.
Provide for your family.
Provide for your family, okay. You might want another car. You might want a new car when you graduate. You might want new clothes. You might want membership into clubs or activities. So we all have all these things we want to do once we graduate college, and we have to have money to pay for those things. So what's very disappointing, and it feels really bad when you finish college, you have your degree, you're getting a job, you're making more money than you ever made in your entire life. Checks, you've never seen these type of checks before. And with comes checks, there also comes bills. And next thing you know, Sally Mae is knocking at your door saying it's time to pay back your student loan. And now you're paying back your student loan, and you had these goals to get this car, you had this goal to get this house, and now you're realizing you don't have enough money for those things. You can't really get that car. You have to downgrade from the Lexus you wanted to a Honda. Or you might have to downgrade from the 5-bedroom house you always dreamed of having to a 3-bedroom, a townhome, apartment. So that's a very disappointing feeling that you go to school, you work hard, you make money, and now you can't even get the things that you really wanted to get. And that's how student loans work. We all get these student loans. We get these massive amounts of student loans, and we have to pay them back when college is over. And now we can't afford those things. It really limits the opportunities, limits our decisions in life. So I'm going to go through an example. So imagine you took out $50,000 of student loan, which is a lot of money to take out. Please try to avoid at all costs of taking out $50,000 for your undergraduate degree. And you pay 6.8% interest, because you know you have to pay interest on loans. And your payback period is about 10 years. With that $50,000 you've taken out, how much do you think you pay back over the course of 10 years? And this is just a guess. The person who gets closest to it gets $5. 60,000? 75,000?
That's all I was about to say.
You got another guess?
76,000.
76,000?
Price is right.
You want to play? You don't want to play? $5 not worth it. I understand. 60, 75, 76.
Maybe 80,000.
You're going to 80,000? The correct answer is 69,000. So I believe you have 75. Congratulations. Okay, so you pay back $69,000 when you borrow $50,000. So that's almost $20,000 more than you originally borrowed. There's a lot of things you could do with $20,000. A lot of other things. A lot of things you could do with $69,000. Let's dig in a little bit deeper. Okay, so you borrow $50,000. Over the course of 10 years, you're going to pay back $69,000. What is your monthly payment? The person who gets the closest gets
All right, $75.
$75 a month. Any other guesses? You like 75, don't you?
Yeah.
500? You got a guess? Think carefully. Whole $5 is riding on it.
400.
You got 400? What you going with?
6, I guess.
600?
Yeah.
75. 500? 400?
600.
600.
Lower up.
And the answer is 575. So it was you. You get $5. All right. So that $575 a month, that turns into $6,900 a year. Is there anything else you would rather do with $575 a month or $6,900 a year? If you have something else you'd rather do, shout it out.
A better house.
A better house. A what?
Car payment.
A car payment, exactly. Anything else?
Vacation.
Gym?
Food.
Go to the best gym in Atlanta for $575. All right, those are all good. Those are all good. Sorry. So the main thing we want to focus on, man, having that student loan debt really limits your opportunities on what you can do going forward in life. If you're investors like Andrew and I, we invest money. So we invest money, if we had extra money like that, we'll invest it and we'll make more money. So you can do all types of opportunities. So remember that having a lot of debt does what? Limit your opportunities. Remember that. There's a lot of things you're going to want to do after college that you're not going to be able to do if you have too much student loan debt. So we want to try to avoid it at all costs. Number two, another reason to try to avoid student loan debt is a lot of students your age, once they graduate college, they think they know what they want to do with their life, but at the end of the day, they don't know. They have this major, they have this degree, this specialization, they work in the field, and you may realize that you don't like it and you want to switch fields. If you're like me, that exactly happened to me. I went to school, got an undergrad degree in information systems, I worked in the field, and then within the first few months, I realized I didn't like it. I really didn't like my job, but I had debt to pay back, I had bills, so I had to do it. So luckily, I went back to school while I was working and got a degree in another field, and then I was able to pursue that degree. And most of you guys will think of getting another degree after you finish college at some point in time or before you finish college. Pretty much everybody in this room, I can probably guarantee that you will think about getting a graduate degree at some point in your life. You may not do it, but you will think about and consider it. So you don't want to have too much student loan debt so that if you go get a graduate degree, you're still unsure because that's going to be even more student loan debt and the benefits might not be worth it when you actually start working in the career that you like. So an example I had was I got my graduate degree, I completed that, and I wanted to switch fields. Unfortunately, I had to take a job, pretty much an internship. It was unpaid for 3 months. So I got zero money in 3 months. And then I made $20,000 less than I was making before at my previous job. So I had to take a pay cut. I still had student loan debt to pay back. I still had bills. And my opportunities were limited at that moment because I wanted to switch fields. But I couldn't work in a job I didn't like. And you don't want to be put in a position where you're working just to pay bills, you're working just to pay student loan debt. So we want to avoid that at all possible costs. Another thing is we are moving away from a society that we're thinking that we can just spend whatever we want to on college and expect it to benefit us in the long term. Parents and students, we're no longer in that kind of society where we spend whatever we want on college. We have to really make a strategically well-thought decision when it comes to finances in college. We can't just go to school and just say, hey, you're going to get a job, your life is going to be better. It doesn't matter how much student loan debt you take out. Some things to consider when selecting a school. There's 4 things I mentioned. Number 1 is try to avoid out-of-state tuition. If you can avoid out-of-state tuition, it's much cheaper to go to school in-state because in-state tuition is a lot cheaper than out-of-state tuition. So there's a lot of good colleges in Georgia that you can choose from. Try to select from those. If you have a family member out of state, maybe you can get relocated and get permanent residency in another state before you start attending the school there. Start at community college. Community college is a great option, a great route to take to really reduce the amount of financial impact college has on you. Community college is relatively cheaper than a 4-year university. And if you go to community college, you can pretty much transfer to any 4-year university, and you're more likely going to be accepted no matter what, as long as you did decently in your community college. Another step is to avoid for-profit schools. Does anyone know what for-profit schools are? Can name a few? Any students? For-profit school? Think hard. There is a reward.
Advertise often.
Yeah, they advertise often on TV. Mount Everest? That's one.
GDC.
Now you guys spitting out a lot. That's good. Everest, you were the first one. Any other ones?
The birds.
Well, you have like Phoenix. You have DeVry. Those schools cost a lot because they want to make a, what's the P word? Profit. So they charge a lot to go to that school. So really try to avoid those at all costs if you can. Last one is private schools are typically more expensive than public schools. Private schools tend to cost more because they don't really have the same relationship with the government and government grants and such. So they may cost a little bit more. Does anybody know of any private schools?
Morehouse.
Emory.
Clark.
Yeah.
Yep. You got it first, Morehouse.
Hey.
There you go. All right. So try to avoid private schools if you can, because public schools is pretty much the same education. You can get as good as education typically from a public university. Here's some examples of tuition costs for some private schools and some public schools. So there's some private universities, Mercer's, that's $32,000. This is just tuition costs. There's other costs that goes along with tuition.
Emory.
$32,000. University of Phoenix is $9,000. These are annual tuition costs. Emory is $43,000. Morehouse is $23,000. Shorter is $19,300. Some public schools in nearby, Clayton State, tuition is just $3,600. Georgia Tech, $8,200. Georgia State, $6,200. Kennesaw, $3,900, and UGA, $8,000. So you guys can see pretty much the gap between private schools and public schools in tuition costs. And this is just 1 year. So over 4 years or 5 years, this adds up really quickly. So any questions before I ask my last 2 questions? Any question on student loan debt? No? All right. So what is the primary reason we want to avoid student loan debt? I said that earlier.
To live.
Not live. To what?
Because it's dead.
Because
Nobody
it
wants dead.
starts with that because it
Limits opportunity.
limits opportunities. Good job. Oh man, I'm starting to run low. And another thing, rule of thumb is you don't want to have more debt than you're going to expect to make your first year out of college. So if you if you, in your degree or your field, you can expect to make $30,000, then you don't want to have more debt than $30,000 after leaving college. That's the rule of thumb. For me, I want you to do better than that. I want you to have a lot less debt than you plan on making your first year of college. Because again, you might decide you want to go to grad school. You might decide you want to start your own venture. You might decide you want to go a different career route. So you don't want your opportunities to be limited by too much student loan debt that you have to work a job you're not really happy with, you're not feeling passionate about, and it really limits your opportunities. So after bringing you down, I'm going to bring Andrew to pick you back up with some good information on scholarships.
All right, thanks, Richard. Everybody give Richard a hand.